The deep space exploration ship Zivaris floated in the darkness of space, just beyond Earth's orbit. Inside the sleek, silver vessel, Captain Jorvik stared at the glowing holographic screen in front of him. His team of elite alien scientists had been scanning Earth for weeks, searching for weaknesses. Like many in the Zarklon Empire, Jorvik believed that humans were primitive, weak, and unprepared for war. The Zarklon Empire had conquered many planets before. They always studied their enemies before attacking. If a species was weak, they crushed them easily. If a species was strong, they used other tactics, spies, sabotage, or manipulation. Earth was supposed to be an easy target. But today, everything changed. "Captain, look at this." A young scientist, Vena, pointed at the screen. Her three-fingered hands trembled slightly. Jorvik leaned closer. The screen displayed an energy reading coming from deep under Earth's oceans. It was strong, too strong to be natural. "What is that?" Jorvik asked, frowning. Vena's voice was shaky. "I don't know. At first I thought it was Earth's planetary core, but the energy signature is artificial. Someone built this." Jorvik narrowed his yellow reptilian eyes. "That's impossible. Humans don't have this level of technology." But the data didn't lie. "Send the deep scan," Jorvik ordered. The ship's scanners activated, sending invisible waves through Earth's atmosphere, down into the ocean. The readings returned almost instantly. Vena gasped. "Captain, you need to see this." Jorvik's eyes widened as the screen filled with a massive structure hidden beneath the waves. Not just one structure, thousands. No, millions. Metal, weapons, starships. Jorvik's heart pounded. This is a fleet." The room fell silent. The Zarklon Empire had always believed humans were weak, but this discovery changed everything. Millions of warships hidden under Earth's oceans, each one massive, built with advanced materials, and far beyond what humanity should have been capable of. Jorvik clenched his jaw. "How long have they been building this?" Vena shook her head. "There's no record of this in our past scans of Earth. They must have hidden it for decades, maybe even centuries." The realization was terrifying. Humanity had been preparing for war all along, while the galaxy had ignored them, while the Zarklon Empire had laughed at them. Earth had been building an unstoppable armada in secret. Jorvik wasted no time. "Send an emergency transmission to the High Council. They must know about this." Vena hesitated. "Captain, if we reveal this, the entire galaxy will panic." Jorvik's eyes gleamed with fear and excitement. "Let them panic." Moments later, the transmission was sent. Across the stars, the Zarklon Empire's most powerful leaders would soon learn the shocking truth. Earth was not weak. Earth was not unprepared. Earth was hiding a secret that could change the balance of power in the entire galaxy. And the worst part, no one knew what the humans planned to do next. Jorvik stood frozen as the transmission was sent. His mind raced with possibilities, each one more terrifying than the last. The Zarklon Empire had always believed humans were nothing more than an undeveloped, reckless species, barely capable of space travel. They were supposed to be easy to manipulate, easy to conquer. But now, everything had changed. The moment the data reached the High Council, the reaction was instant chaos. Inside the Grand War Chamber of the Zarklon Empire, the High Council members gathered in a circular room made of polished black stone. The massive holographic display in the center flickered to life, showing the deep-sea scans from Jorvik's ship. One by one, the alien rulers leaned forward, their expressions shifting from confusion to disbelief, and finally, to fear. Chancellor Vorik, a tall, battle-scarred Zarklon, slammed his fist onto the table. "Impossible. Humanity could not have built this without us noticing." General Tsiron, one of the most experienced war tacticians in the Empire, studied the data with narrowed eyes. "Yet they did. And if these readings are accurate, Their fleet outnumbers even our strongest battle divisions. Murmurs spread through the room. The Zarklon Empire prided itself on military dominance, ruling over dozens of conquered worlds. If humanity had built such a fleet, it meant only one thing. Earth had been preparing for war in secret, right under the galaxy's nose. Have the humans shown any signs of aggression? A council member asked, his voice tight with worry. No, General Tyron admitted. But that's what makes this even more dangerous. They didn't build this fleet for nothing. Either they were expecting an attack, or they are planning one. A heavy silence filled the chamber. Chancellor Vorik turned to his intelligence officer. How long have they been building this? The officer hesitated before responding. There is no record of this fleet in any of our past surveillance data. The humans must have hidden the construction sites deep underwater, beyond our scanner's reach. This could have been in the making for decades, maybe even centuries. That revelation sent a ripple of unease through the room. For all this time, the Empire had looked at Earth as a primitive world, believing it was alone and vulnerable. But humanity had been watching, waiting, and preparing for something no one saw coming. The galaxy had underestimated Earth. Panic started spreading beyond the war chamber. News of the discovery leaked into the larger galactic community, and soon, messages flooded in from other alien civilizations. Some demanded answers. Others wanted alliances. A few even suggested an immediate strike on Earth, destroy the fleet before it became an unstoppable force. But General Tyron shook his head. That would be a mistake. If we provoke them, we might trigger a war we can't win. His words carried a weight that few wanted to admit. The Zarklon Empire had fought countless battles, crushed countless enemies. But this was different. They were never weak, Vorik muttered under his breath. They only wanted us to think they were. The realization was terrifying. Then a new alert flashed across the holographic display. One of their scout ships had moved closer to Earth, attempting to get a deeper scan. The ship sent only one final message before going silent. They know we're watching. Every council member exchanged uneasy glances. The humans were aware of them. And now, the galaxy would have to wait and see what Earth would do next. Far beneath the surface of Earth's oceans, hidden from the eyes of the galaxy, a vast network of high-tech underwater bases pulsed with energy. Inside one of the largest command centers, Supreme Commander Elias Grant stood before a massive digital display, his sharp blue eyes scanning the incoming data. The alien empires had discovered the secret. It was sooner than expected, but not unexpected. Humanity had always known this day would come. A holographic projection flickered to life beside him. Admiral Helena Carter, one of the most experienced tacticians in the fleet, appeared with a grim expression. We just intercepted a deep space transmission from the Zarklon Empire. They've officially labeled Earth as a strategic threat. Grant's expression remained unreadable. And the other empires? Carter exhaled, divided. Some want to negotiate. Others want to strike first. The room filled with murmurs of tension. Every officer in the command center knew what this meant. War was no longer a question of if, but when. One of the younger officers, Lieutenant Ryan Voss, hesitated before speaking. Sir, shouldn't we at least send a message? Let them know we're not a threat. Grant turned his gaze toward him, his voice calm but firm. If we tell them we are not a threat, they will never believe us. If we tell them we are, they will prepare for war. He paused. No, we let them wonder. We let them fear the unknown. The fleet had been built in secret for a reason. Humanity had spent centuries watching the stars, knowing that one day the universe would come knocking. And it wouldn't be to make friends. Every major alien civilization that had reached the stars had been shaped by one unspoken rule. The strong survive. The weak are conquered. Earth refused to be weak. Humanity had taken advantage of one simple fact. The galactic empires had dismissed them as primitive. They saw humans as reckless explorers, distracted by their own wars, slow to expand into the stars. No one had imagined that, beneath their very oceans, Earth had been assembling the largest hidden war fleet the galaxy had ever seen. And now, that secret was out. Another officer, Commander Jacob Lynn, adjusted his earpiece as a new encrypted message came in. "Sir, we've detected an unauthorized alien probe in Earth's orbit." Grant's expression darkened. "Destroy it." Within seconds, a silent missile launched from one of the hidden underwater bases. It traveled at impossible speeds, locking onto the alien probe before it could send back more data. A small explosion lit up the upper atmosphere, quick, efficient, and final. Message sent. The galaxy would now understand that Earth was not some weak world to be observed and studied like an insect under a magnifying glass. Carter smirked slightly. That should make them nervous. But Grant remained serious. They were already nervous. Now, they'll be terrified. Because if there was one thing worse than an enemy you understood, it was an enemy you didn't. And to the galaxy, humanity had just become the greatest unknown force of all. Deep in the void of space, just beyond the orbit of Saturn, a fleet of alien warships emerged from hyperspace. The flagship, Ekrenos, belonged to the Zarklon Empire's First War Division, a fleet that had conquered countless civilizations across the galaxy. It was a symbol of absolute power, a force so overwhelming that few species dared to resist it. Yet, for the first time in its history, the fleet had been sent not to conquer, but to test its own fears. Grand Admiral Xyros stood tall inside the war room, his clawed hands gripping the edge of a glowing command console. Before him, a holographic projection displayed Earth and its hidden Armada. It was hard to believe. Millions of warships, concealed beneath oceans, waiting in silence. It made no sense. How could they have done this? One of his officers muttered. How could we have missed it? Xyros did not answer immediately. The Zarklon Empire had been watching Earth for centuries, yet they had never seen signs of this fleet's construction. The planet had always appeared fragile, focused on its own internal struggles, its people obsessed with meaningless wars and entertainment. They were a species divided, not united. And yet, the proof was undeniable. The humans had never been divided at all. They had tricked the galaxy into thinking they were weak, while in the shadows they built something that could change the balance of power forever. That was why Xyros was here, to test Earth's defenses. "Move forward," he commanded. "Bring the fleet to Earth's orbit." The alien warships advanced, their massive forms cutting through the darkness of space, glowing with the energy of their weapons. It was meant to be a show of force, a warning. The message was clear: surrender or prepare for war. Then, something unexpected happened. Earth did not respond. The humans did not send messages, did not activate their planetary defenses, did not even acknowledge the presence of the warships hovering above them. Xyros narrowed his eyes. He had expected threats, demands, maybe even negotiations. But this silence, this was something far worse. "This feels like a trap," one of his commanders muttered. Xyros did not disagree. He turned to his communication officer. "Send a transmission. Demand their surrender." The officer nodded and activated the broad-range frequency. His voice echoed through the fleet. "People of Earth, we know of your hidden fleet beneath your oceans. We know you have been preparing for war in secret. You have one chance to surrender peacefully. Show us your leaders, or we will reduce your planet to ashes." Still, there was silence. Minutes passed. Then, finally, a single transmission came through. A human voice, calm and controlled, spoke just 3 words. "You shouldn't have come." Then, without warning, the ocean erupted. Millions of human warships, hidden deep beneath the waters, suddenly launched into the sky. The world's oceans churned with fire and metal as massive carriers, battleships, and sleek, black starfighters pierced through the atmosphere. It was an impossible sight. No species in the galaxy had ever built warships underwater. It was inefficient, dangerous, and far more complex than constructing them in space. Yet here they were. a hidden armada that had been waiting for this exact moment. The Zarklon fleet barely had time to react. Thousands of human ships locked onto them within seconds. The skies above Earth transformed into a battlefield before the aliens could even fire a single shot. And then, Earth struck back. A storm of missiles and energy blasts tore through the invading fleet. The aliens scrambled to defend themselves, but they were outmaneuvered, outgunned, outmatched. Xyros could hardly believe what he was seeing. He had been prepared for a fight. But this was not a fight. This was an execution. The humans had never been afraid of the Zarklon Empire. They had been waiting for it. The battle erupted like a supernova. Within seconds, the sky above Earth became a storm of fire and metal. The Zarklon fleet, once confident in its overwhelming power, now found itself trapped in a battlefield they did not control. Earth's hidden warships moved with impossible speed and precision. They weaved between the alien vessels, striking with pinpoint accuracy. Their weapons were unlike anything the Zarklon Empire had seen before: plasma lances that cut through armor like paper, railguns that fired at near-light speed, and energy shields that absorbed enemy fire without a scratch. The Zarklon warships struggled to react. They were used to dominating battles, their technology superior to most species they had conquered. But now, they were the ones being hunted. Grand Admiral Xyros gritted his teeth as his flagship. The Ikranos shook violently. Alarms blared, and damage reports flooded the command screens. The fleet was already losing dozens of ships, and the humans had suffered almost no losses. This is impossible," one of his officers gasped. Xyros refused to believe it. How could humans, primitive, divided, chaotic humans, be doing this? Then, a second wave of human warships emerged. More ships. Faster, stronger, deadlier. The full might of Earth's hidden fleet had been unleashed. Xyros clenched his fists. "Pull back. We need to retreat and regroup." But the humans had no intention of letting them escape. A deep, rumbling voice echoed through every Zarklon ship's communication systems. It was a simple, chilling message from the Supreme Commander of Earth's forces. "You came to test us. Now you will learn why we were never afraid." The human fleet tightened the noose. Warships moved into precise formations, cutting off every possible retreat. They had studied Zarklon battle tactics. They knew exactly how the aliens would try to escape. The alien commanders shouted orders, but it was useless. The humans were not just fighting. They were dismantling the Zarklon fleet with ruthless efficiency. Xyros watched in horror as his ships were picked apart one by one. His best fighters, his most advanced battleships, none of them stood a chance. One by one, the symbols on his command screen blinked out. Destroyed. 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 A sinking feeling settled in his chest. He had never seen a battle like this. The humans were not fighting for survival. They were proving a point. Then the largest human warship moved forward. It dwarfed everything in the sky. A massive vessel covered in dark armor, with glowing blue energy flowing through its structure. The ship broadcast one final message. "Tell the galaxy what happened here." Then Earth's fleet stopped. They did not fire the final shot. They did not wipe out the last of the Zarklon forces. Instead, they let the survivors flee. Xyros, shaken and humiliated, gave the order. All remaining ships, retreat. What was left of the once mighty Zarklon fleet turned and ran. As they limped away into hyperspace, one thought burned in Xyros' mind. The galaxy had been wrong about Earth. Humanity was not prey. Humanity was the apex predator. The remnants of the Zarklon fleet limped through hyperspace, their hulls scorched, their pride shattered. The once invincible warships, feared across the galaxy, had been ripped apart in mere minutes. Grand Admiral Xyros sat in silence within the war room of his flagship, staring at the broken remains of his fleet on the holographic display. The truth was undeniable. Earth had won. Not just through brute force, but through strategy, precision, and a level of warfare that no one in the galaxy had ever imagined. Humanity had outmaneuvered, outgunned, and outthought one of the most powerful empires in existence. And worst of all, they had let them go. The humans had sent a message loud and clear. We could have destroyed you. We chose not to. That was what terrified Xyros the most. A deep, uneasy silence filled the war room until one of his officers finally spoke. "Sir, what do we tell the High Council?" Xyros clenched his jaw. The truth. That they had been crushed. That a species they had dismissed as insignificant had built the most powerful hidden fleet in the galaxy. He exhaled slowly. "We tell them what they already fear." The officer swallowed. "Which is?" Xyros turned his gaze toward the endless void of space. That Earth is no longer a planet to conquer. It is a power to be reckoned with. The fall of the Zarklon fleet sent shockwaves across the galaxy. In every empire, on every world, in every war room, the news spread like wildfire. Earth had done the impossible. The great powers of the galaxy had believed humanity was too young, too divided, too inexperienced to be a threat. But now they had to face the terrifying truth. The human fleet had been built in absolute secrecy, hidden beneath their own oceans, while the galaxy had laughed at their slow progress in space. They had tricked everyone. And now, they had revealed themselves. Alien leaders react. On the war-ridden world of Krathos, the warlords of the Drek Consortium gathered in panic. The Zarklon were supposed to be unbeatable. One of them hissed, "If they fell to Earth, what chance do we have?" In the floating cities of Vel-Zerak, the ruling elders of the Cerathian Dominion debated furiously. The humans were building in secret for decades. What else are they hiding? One elder asked. No one had an answer. For the first time in centuries, the balance of power in the galaxy was shifting. Deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, in the vast control center of Earth's hidden fleet, Supreme Commander Elias Grant watched the galactic transmissions pouring in. Every empire, every civilization was reacting exactly as expected, with fear. Admiral Helena Carter stood beside him, arms crossed. "They won't dare attack us now." Grant gave a small nod. "No, but they will try to understand us. They will send spies. They will watch our every move. And some will still see us as a threat to be eliminated." Commander Jacob Lind frowned. "So what do we do now?" Grant turned to the massive digital screen, displaying the hundreds of thousands of warships hidden beneath the oceans. "We keep preparing." The galaxy now knew Earth's first secret, but they had no idea how many more were waiting. The galaxy would never be the same again. The battle above Earth had rewritten everything the great empires thought they knew. The Zarklon Empire, the once undisputed conquerors of worlds, had limped home in defeat, humiliated and broken. The Drek Consortium, the Cerathian Dominion, and countless other alien civilizations had been forced to rethink their place in the cosmos. And at the center of it all, Earth remained silent. They had revealed their hidden fleet, crushed an invading force, and then vanished once more into the shadows. No broadcasts, no demands, no threats, just silence. The galactic response. Inside the vast, floating citadel of the Galactic Council, representatives of hundreds of species gathered in a state of panic. Never before had so many empires, warlords, and ruling factions agreed to meet so urgently. The chamber was filled with voices shouting over each other. The humans built a fleet large enough to rival the combined forces of the top 5 empires. How is that even possible? They hid their military strength for centuries. What else are they hiding? If Earth has this kind of power, then they are the greatest threat the galaxy has ever faced. Amid the chaos, a towering Cerathian elder raised a single clawed hand. The chamber fell silent. "We do not understand these humans," the elder said slowly, his voice echoing. "They revealed their power, yet they did not conquer. They could have obliterated the Zarklon fleet, yet they chose restraint. A reptilian warlord from the Drek consortium growled. That makes them even more dangerous. A Velzerek diplomat spoke, his voice trembling. Perhaps they do not want war. Perhaps they are only defending themselves. Or perhaps, another voice muttered darkly, they are playing a game we don't even understand. A grim realization settled over the council. For centuries, the galaxy had treated Earth as weak, primitive, and divided. Now, they saw the truth. Earth had been watching, waiting, preparing, and no one knew what they were truly capable of. The silent fortress. Beneath the Atlantic Ocean, inside Earth's most classified military base, Supreme Commander Elias Grant stood before a room of high-ranking officers. A massive holographic display floated before them, showing intercepted alien transmissions, political shifts, and new military movements across the galaxy. Everything is unfolding as expected, Admiral Helena Carter said. The galaxy is afraid. Grant nodded. Good. Commander Jacob Lynn exhaled. But how long can we keep them guessing? They'll try to infiltrate us, spy on us. They'll want to know. Grant's gaze darkened. Let them try. He turned to the display, where a secret fleet blueprint glowed. A second, even larger fleet still under construction, hidden even deeper beneath the oceans. The ships from the first fleet had been revealed, but Earth had been building far more than the galaxy had seen. We are not done preparing, Grant said. The galaxy now fears us, but fear fades. Suspicion fades. They will forget, unless we give them a reason not to. Admiral Carter smirked. And what do you propose? Grant's eyes gleamed. We make our next move, not with war, not with threats, but with something far more powerful. Silence filled the room. Then Lynn asked the question on everyone's mind. What is our next move? Grant turned to face them, his voice calm, certain. We step into the light. For the first time in history, Earth would announce itself to the galaxy, not as a weak, backward world, but as a force that could no longer be ignored. The secret was out. The balance of power had shifted. And humanity was just getting started.